Good morning, everyone. It's Lee Henson, President and Founder of Agile Dad, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Stand-Up. So without any further ado, let's get started. Today, I wanted to talk to you about a topic that's near and dear to my heart. And I found an article that I recently read that was loosely based on this. So I thought it'd be fun to put the two together and give you some additional information. So the article that I found was from September of 2021 by a gentleman named David Thiel. He says five psychological effects triggered by Scrum and why they make Scrum the most successful software development process framework in the world. Okay, I get it. But I want to focus on the psychology piece of it more than anything, more so than the software development part, right? And it's not because I don't like software development. It's just because, well, I think the psychology applies to everyone. So he lists his top five psychological effects that are important in Scrum and what you can do to support them. Now, he goes into great detail on each of these. I'm going to cover them at a very high level to keep this episode short and sweet. And then we can dig in if you'd like on any of these topics. If you just shoot over a request, we'll be happy to do that. So, coming in right at the top, he talks about chunking or dividing projects into smaller chunks called sprints. Now, chunking sounds easy on the surface. The problem is, many times people come in with that long winded technical user requirements document, the giant turd, and they want to show off their turd and how big and wonderful and grand it is. And they want to, break it down into sprints. But when they do that, what they quickly discover is there's not enough sprints to hold all the work. So now it comes time for them to reorganize the work or reorganize the people. So then they constantly try to fight and reorganize the people, only to find that the people have no real way of getting that level or amount of work done. So I think that with chunking, you have to be careful because you have to understand some concepts like eliminating technical debt first, or a concept of making sure when you're chunking that you understand objective stack ranking and how that works, and the importance of having a BAFA product owner, business analyst, functional analyst, and technical analyst that are working together to help the product owner make good choices regarding the backlog. I think just straight up chunking is hard for people to do. It's easy to get your head around, but it's hard for people to do because the truth is people tend to put off work, especially if they feel like it's big chunks. So chunking and making it smaller is something that's important and will make it easier to consume. Our next support mechanism is support the building of confidence and creating commitment within the teams. Okay. So his method of doing this, he says, is track progress with the help of Kanban boards and burn down charts. Now, while this is great, right? Visual indicators, I never ever diss visual indicators. I feel like you need something a little better than that. If you're going to build confidence within a team and create commitment, you need to make sure that they understand the purpose behind meetings like the daily stand up meeting, and that they need to understand what the primary focus is and why. And they need to be relatable when it comes to figuring out what they're trying to do and how they're going to share that information with others. I think that we deceptively believe a burn down chart or a Kanban board is going to show us our progress and get us exactly where we need to be, when in fact they help, but they're not the end all be all. I think it's so important that the team feels like the scrum master is there to support them, that she is, on their side and willing to defend them in a street fight, right? I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but you want this person to be like familia, right? This is a family, and you need to be part of the family. Kiss the ring. No, but it's just without getting stereotypical. These individuals who are working together need to understand that the primary reason they're being asked to do something is so that they can make a commitment, so that we can forecast and be predictable. The third thing mentioned here is help the team to identify with the product vision and their work. Okay. So this is that clear understanding of the vision and strategy in order for them to make more solid commitments. I could not agree more. This one's probably the most straightforward. I think that if the team understands the why behind the what, they value their work that much more, right? All right. So next we have make sure that the team believes in the success of the product. This ties to what we're just now talking about, but I think it also means that they have to see how other people are using their product or service. They have to be able to see on social media and be able to measure social media sentiment. They need to be able to confirm that that no one is in a negative way, or that people are in a negative way are in a vast minority, and that people are happy with what's been built. They need to be put in correct direct contact with people so that they can ask the right questions and find out information about the product that they built. I think that when you get that level of connectivity, that's when you're going to see them believe in their success, and that's when they're going to have even more success. And then finally, connect the worlds of high level thinking and low level thinking through frequent communication, facilitation, and procedure adherence. Now, I'll stomp on this one a little bit because I'm not a big fan of process adherence, but it is necessary. There are just a few things within the Agile framework that you absolutely need to do in order to be successful. But I feel like if you're connecting everyone on a team together and allowing them to cross pollinate and to become cross functional and to become a T shaped team instead of an I shaped team and focus on things that are important to them, these psychological effects are so important that those five things will help you really drive what you're trying to do with your Scrum implementation. So, once again, doesn't apply just to hardware or just to software. It could be entertainment, it could be products or services that you're building, anything that you're doing. These rules apply. So I encourage you to take a look at these rules, take a look at these guidelines, take a look at these psychological effects, if you will, and ask yourself the hard questions. What can we do to improve? Find ways to stay out of meetings and find ways to stay engaged. And I assure you, if you do, you're going to have a much more fun time doing Agile. So that's going to do it today. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.